When you think about reading, you don't think about anything other than just like, here is the book that I'm going to read. You don't think about needing any additional accessories or any additional supporting materials, so to speak. But that is where you're wrong. Okay, you're not wrong. I mean, yes, that is technically all you need is a book, but there is so much more, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What's up, friends? My name is Becca Moore. I am the author of 2 romance novels, an all-around crafty person, and recommender of books. And I have a confession. I may own too many book accessories. Now, you might be saying, Becca, that can't be true. You can't own too many book accessories. And you would be right. I don't own that many. There could be more. But today I want to show you the ones that I keep coming back to and the ones that I use the most and get the most use out of. First up, I want to talk about the physical things that I use to support my extravagant reading habit. The first one is going to be book sleeves. These are an assortment of ones that I have made, ones that I have purchased. You can buy them that are just kind of a little bit more flimsy. You can get them where they're a little bit more sturdy, and you can get them in all shapes and sizes. This one I made specifically for comic books. The next physical accessories that I use often are bookmarks. These are a couple of the ones that I use. I really like this one. It's fun. It looks like a little zipper when it's in the book. I also have made little origami ones. This is one that my friend Rachel made me. I do have to say I have a love-hate relationship with tassels. I love how they look and how they feel and just like present on a book. But growing up, I couldn't tell you how many times I had tassels fall apart because I used them too much. The next thing that I want to talk about for physical things is what all readers use, whether we admit it or not, and that is random pieces of paper. A lot of times when I start a book, I don't necessarily have a bookmark handy, and I will grab the first random piece of paper or receipt that I have and shove it in the book to keep that bookmark. The next thing on my list is headphones. I am a big audiobook listener, and so one part of that is using headphones a whole heck of a lot. These are my noise canceling. These are my really nice ones that I use for travel, and my partner affectionately refers to them as my earmuffs because once I have these on, it's very hard to get a hold of me. But I use those when I am cleaning the house and such. When I take walks, I like to be able to listen to my book or podcast, but I also want to be able to hear what is going on around me. And that's where I have these. They are over-the-ear bone conducting ones. These ones specifically are Aftershok's brand, but I know there's a couple of others out there, and they work really great. The last 2 physical items that I use a lot when I am reading are my pillow. It's a little big. So it's just like a long body pillow. And I use that a lot of times on the couch to help either support my arms while I'm holding a book or my Kindle, and also to just kind of like wrap around my back to give me a little bit of extra support, because we all know when we're reading, we end up in some really awkward seated positions. The last physical item that I use pretty frequently, I've been reading more on my phone recently, but in the past, I've always made sure that any purse that I buy can hold either my Kindle or a physical book. But if that's not the case, I often turn to a tote bag that can hold all of it. So my tote bag of choice at the moment is my probably reading Ruby Dixon. And then on the other side is my Take Me to Nothoth. And I made this just from a zipped tote bag that I got online. All right, now let's go through some of those tech items that I frequently use for reading. I'm going to start off with the most obvious, which is my Kindle. I have it in this cute little book sleeve. I can't even remember what kind of Kindle it is. It's not a Paperwhite. It is, I think it's the Voyage. They don't make this one anymore. This is what I got after I upgraded from a Kindle keyboard. I am interested in the Kindle Scribe. So if you have a Kindle Scribe and have used it a lot, please leave a comment below and let me know how you like it. I am looking to upgrade sooner than later. Some of my other tech related items that I use for reading aren't obviously physical items, so I will show some pictures of them up here. The first one is my library apps. So that's going to be my Libby app and my Cloud2 library app. Those are both through my public library using my library card, and they are absolutely fantastic. They have a variety of books available, and usually there are different types of books. I used to have access to Hoopla through my public library, but I changed public libraries and stopped paying for the other ones, so I don't have access to that anymore. I always found that Hoopla tended to have a lot more indie books than my public library. I am fortunate in the fact that I use my local public library, and then I have a library card from the city where I used to live. They have not taken it away from me, so I am holding on to that as much as possible. And so I do have a little bit more access to a wider variety of books. Another phone app that I use a lot for reading is my Manta app. I got this in a year subscription, and I have found that it's pretty worth it. This is mostly webtoons and manga, so some of my favorite webtoons are on the Manta app, such as Finding Camellia, Under the Oak Tree, Disobey the Duke If You Dare, and so many more. And then I have a video coming out soon that will highlight even more of the ones that I like on the Manta app. Last but not least, as far as apps that I regularly use, is Storygraph. Now, I use Storygraph to track my reading. I have been using Storygraph off and on for probably the last 2 to 3 years. And last year I used it the entire year, and I absolutely loved the stats that it produced at the end of the year and even month to month or throughout the year. Here's some examples of just like how it showcases what you're reading. And I felt that if I'm not going to do star ratings, it allowed me to express how I felt about books a lot better than Goodreads. I do still have a Goodreads account. I do not regularly use it. I do sometimes use it to keep track of like what I want to read, but even that is pretty inconsistent at this point. That's all I can think of for right now that I use for a reading accessory. Did I miss anything, or is there any that you would recommend that I add to my reading accessory lineup? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out. As always, thanks for joining. See you next time. Bye!